All right. All right, we're live. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Cancel. Why is it not? It's not.
Oh, it says live. It says live here.
Yeah, we're live right now.
Yeah. Let's wait a few minutes before everybody comes in.
Yeah. So we're here. So let's just kind of let everybody come in.
Look at that on YouTube. Have you seen it? Because they're like one from this side, one from that side.
What? What does that have?
We're sideways. I'm like facing this way. And you're
No,
kind of like this way.
no.
Have you seen it on YouTube? It's kind of crazy.
I haven't.
I don't think we can do the sideways. It's too crazy.
All right. Do you want to start it again?
Huh? Let's go back to the straight. That seems like fair enough.
Okay. All right. Let me. I'm gonna have to maneuver my thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Oops.
Give me a second.
Yeah. I'm up here.
Okay. There we go.
So, where do you see the comments? That's the next question.
So, but all right. So we've got you're on. So how do I follow myself? Let me see what's going on here.
Oh, this is better. Arranging this. Yeah.
Are we there? We're good. All right. So we've got one person in. So let's give it a couple more. Well, it's 6:58, and I know that there's a couple other people coming in. So
yeah.
Let's
I don't know.
Oh, so I'm live here. So I'm gonna watch. Oh, so I'm live here. Whoops. All right. Okay, good. So I can see myself. There's a little bit of a lag.
Oh, it's kind of like hard to type while I'm having this thing here, though.
All right, so now we've got 3 people. So, all right. This is fantastic. Hi, everyone.
I made a comment.
All right, I'm going to type too.
It's so funny because it has a total lag, like total lag. Better not look at it. It's kind of too real. Yeah, you made a comment too. Okay.
Yeah.
This I don't need. This is where. I'm gonna meet him over. Every time. Okay.
All right. So we've got 11 people here. Fantastic. And 3 comments. So good. So we'll give it a couple of more minutes. It's currently 7 o'clock. So 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So, and Claudia, you said that you were going to start off with a meditation.
I thought we introduced each other first.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yep.
And why we're actually doing this, because we were going to do this last week, but then that didn't happen.
Right.
Right. You might want to talk about this because you were right in the middle of that.
Yeah, we could.
Just a sentence, man. That would be good. Hi.
Yeah. So so it's 7:01. So we'll give it a little bit longer for some people to come in. And if you're here, please go ahead and put your name in the chat and tell us where you're from.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
and then that way we can see who's here, and we'll start in a little bit. I know it's 7:01, so if you're here, just go ahead and put your name in the chat. Tell us where you're from, and we'll start in a couple of minutes. So I'm really glad everyone is here. We're having this live. Claudia and I have been spending quite a bit of time over the last week or so trying to figure out how to do live so we could do this. And so
This
it's
is because this is our first time, right?
our first time like actually doing a class and everything
Yeah.
on live. So yeah. So yeah, so go ahead and put your name in the chat. Tell us where you're from, what city or what state. Doesn't really matter what country you're from.
There must be bots watching, or nobody has a name. Nice to see older people. Used to that.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. You will see.
Hmm. That's called
We sent you a
experience.
chat, but you guys don't see it.
Huh?
We sent you a live chat.
It's nothing here.
Well, I don't know. We sent a live one.
A live one?
Live chat.
Oh, does it has to? Maybe there's a setting that live chat. Here we go. All messages. I don't see it. They said they sent something. I don't see it.
Is it the nice to see old people use the network comment? Is that it?
No, that's not her.
Mm.
No, that's not her. But I think we should start anyway. Do we see anybody else there?
There's several people on, and so we can start to
Should we
chat
give
a
it
little.
2 more minutes? And there's some hearts.
Oh, good.
Write something.
I didn't see the hearts. That's fun. Yeah. So.
This is hearting.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Laughing. Okay. I think
Yeah.
we're good.
We're good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, my name's Michelle Stone. I am the owner of Michelle Stone Masterpieces. I am a lifelong artist who I love to help people heal and I love to inspire people through art. I work with all different ages all over the world and just to help them like work through things. It's like, how do you explain it, Claudia? And so this is Claudia Dose. She is also a licensed, certified therapeutic art life coach, and she lives on the other coast. And so, do you want to talk a little bit about what you do, Claudia?
I do a lot of paintings that involve intuitive paintings that just evolve, and I love how the painting isn't what I expect it to be, and I can see something coming up, and I use this, and I have used this with other people also in a way of getting to know our inner self and getting to know our own story and finding out something that we can't write or we can't express in speaking, but is only accessible maybe to art, maybe through dancing. But I found art really beneficial for this. And so we wanted to offer this. And the idea came upon last week when there was the hurricane coming into Florida and North Carolina, and we were like, there must be some people that might need to calm down a bit. And so we offered this, and then we did not know that there was another tornado coming right at Florida that hadn't destroyed anything yet. It definitely leveled the rest or some. And you were right in the middle of that, but lucky nothing happened. We made it out there. So we said we're gonna make it a bit later, and this is the event. We are here. We're
Yeah.
glad you're here too.
Yeah, we're really glad everyone is here. It was like Claudia said, it initially started off because last Thursday, the 10th, is World Mental Health Awareness Day. And so I thought, what better way to share mental health awareness then to do some things, through art. And so I was going to do my own live with like some emotional mandalas earlier in the day, and then I was teaming up with another local artist who's an award-winning, actually a poet, an award-winning poet here in the Tampa Bay area, and then Claudia, and as life would have it, Milton came through, and all the power went out, and couldn't very well do that. And so, and the poet actually also lives here in the Tampa Bay area too. So we decided to postpone it until today. We are going to continue to do these kinds of classes. The next one, actually, after this, that's currently scheduled. I'm going to talk to a couple other poets later on in the next couple of days. But the next one with Claudia is actually going to be on not September, on
November.
Saturday, the other S word, on Saturday, November 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific Central. What is it? PCT? Pacific Standard Time.
That's Pacific time. PT.
Pacific time, which is 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be something similar to this. But yeah, and so at this point, if you have your paper, your like coloring things that you like to do, whether it's pencils or crayons or colored pencils or watercolor or whatever the case is, Claudia's gonna yep. What else?
Brushes. Some crayons if you have, or something that you can, I don't know if I can tip them because otherwise they'll fall out. And I have some watercolors, but if you have anything that you're familiar with, easy to use, handy, and doesn't require anything, sort of like you can just have a pencil. That's all.
Perfect. So do you want to lead us in a meditation first, so we can kind of get in the groove?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wonder if I should change my camera before, or I can do it after too. So after you prepare your space, make sure you have something to drink or a snack handy in case you get hungry, and take a minute to set this up. And then I was going to do a little meditation to tune into your own innate wisdom and healing. So close your eyes and observe the space around you, and in front of you, and behind, and left and right of you. Just a quick scan around you. And then notice the sounds around. Is there a breeze of wind or any smells you notice? Can you notice the touch of clothing on your skin? How's the ground under your feet? And see if it holds you up. And then the gravity, how it pulls you down towards the earth. Notice your breath going in and out of your nostrils. Notice the slight pause between the inhale and exhale. Don't change anything, just observe. Notice any qualities of your breath, or like it's being soft or hard or shallow or deep. Simply notice like you would watch a puppy or an infant. There's nothing to do but just simple watch. And then notice how, as we offer a gentle attention to the breath might slightly adjust itself. It may be a little more comfortable. It means that when we offer loving, kind, and neutral attention without any agenda, it feels almost like it's relaxing. Someone is paying attention to me. And this kind of quality of attention has no sensation of wanting to fix anything, or wanting to figure anything out, or wanting to make something different. So if we take the experience of noticing how our body and our breath changes when we offer it some quality of attention without any agenda, just an attentive curiosity, we'll find that this quality of attention is really powerful. And I want to invite you to treat yourself to that much attention, at least for the time we spend together today, and observe your creation with that same loving kindness without agenda. Because when we provide a loving witness to ourselves, it seems that we can figure out how to adjust ourselves and make ourselves more comfortable inside. And then we get to access our own inner wisdom, and our own inner creative energy becomes available to us. And we can tap into the energy of creation itself, whose only agenda is to expand and create. So I welcome you to just, I'm gonna move, you can open your eyes and become aware of your surroundings now, and open your eyes, and I close slowly without making too much noise. Move my camera around. It's making a lot of noise. Sorry. So you can watch. Oops. Yeah, if I should turn anything off. Is it still on?
Yep, it's still in.
Okay, I can see right on. So I can't see what you're doing, but I thought you might enjoy what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna start painting for a while, just the way I thought you might like to try. You don't have to imitate anything, but whatever you do.
Yeah, go ahead and Claudia, as you're doing this, start to think about like the process. Like tell us, maybe share with us where you're going in your thought process. Are you gonna do the background first? Are you what?
I don't see any background and foreground.
Okay.
I simply just pick a color that suits me right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I have a nice blue here.
Right.
And this is an oil pastel. You can use anything. I also have regular pencils and stuff. And I just let it flow, like it just dance on the paper basically, and just make some marks. And I think that's the most scary part for most people, to just make a mark on a white piece of paper that has nothing on it. And sometimes I do rounds, sometimes I make other things. And then I can already see some things that catch my eye, like this movement here maybe. And I can, make it more, play more with it and take it out here more.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
What would you say if someone is having a hard time choosing a color? Is it just one of those where
You just pick any. Close your eyes and pick one.
yeah.
I wouldn't make it a big event of what color, because you can change it. You can
Mm-hmm.
have another color, and then put another color over it. It's just it's more like an observing of what happens there without wanting to do anything in particular. So
Yeah,
you're observing your hand moving around, doing things
mm-hmm.
out of curiosity. There's nothing involved in here to just stop somewhere, make a movement here. We don't want any actual result in us. We just want to express ourselves freely.
Mm-hmm. It's more about being in the present moment and just feeling into it.
becoming the observer, like I explained with the breath, like that. You just observe it, and then sometimes you see things that fascinate you, and
Mm-hmm.
you play a bit more on them, like that. Mhm. And it looks totally different on your side, so I don't know what it's on your side.
No, it's beautiful. I love how it's coming together and how you're just naturally uh, just allowing the oil pastel to just flow on the paper,
Yeah,
and there's no real intention behind it other than being in the present moment.
exactly.
Hmm.
Mhm. And I don't think much about color theories or how they fit together or anything.
Right. What do you think about the idea of turning your paper around?
Yeah, I do that very often.
Hmm.
And then it looks so different, and you can see something else that fascinates you, and you
Yeah.
paint on that again. Definitely.
And again, you could use anything. You could do colored pencils with this. You could use watercolor, oil pastels, chalk pastels, crayons,
Exactly.
marker. It's just real a free flowing.
Yeah.
Just kind of tune into that internal
And then
space within.
paint something with brushes.
Say it a little bit louder, please.
You can also include brushes and paints.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I love how you just added a little bit of water to that brush, and now it's blending and filling in that space. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
How does it feel as you're doing that, Claudia?
I love it.
Hmm.
I think we're born with this. All children at some stage want to use their hands or mess around and draw and paint or
Hmm.
dance. We all have this innate ability to do this.
Absolutely, to express themselves through some type of art.
Yeah. And then sometimes you see something that fascinates you, speaks to you,
Hmm.
sometimes not in the moment, sometimes later.
And
And
again, as you turn the page around, sometimes there's something completely different on one side that there is on the other.
yeah,
Hmm.
thank you for reminding me. Yeah.
I just think about sometimes when I do the intuitive art process in my work. It's when you when when I turn into the different angles, it looks completely different. And then sometimes I even want to change the color stories that I'm working with.
You don't want to change them?
No, I do. Sometimes it makes me go from, oh well, you know what, I've been using magentas and oranges, and wait, now I think I want to add yellow or add some green in here, or what about this purple over here, um just from turning the page around.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then sometimes happenstance stuff happens. Like
Hmm.
you don't expect things to happen. And
Right.
then you go like, oh wow, this is pretty nice. Yeah. Yeah. And I think the thing is to just keep going. You don't think too
Hmm.
much about it.
Right. Right. Even just watching you, and I'm not even doing it, I'm just being the observer right now. I can feel my breath has slowed down, my heart is slowed down.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel more calm,
Yeah.
more
If you
more
do it
centered.
yourself too, it sort of creates, yeah, calmness and, yeah. And there's no right or wrong here. Nothing that has to be in a particular way
Mm-hmm.
that we want to or not want to, other than having fun here. I'm going to click around to find some pencils here that I thought of.
What is that, Claudia? Colored pencil?
That's a color pencil, a really rich kind of thickish one, but I have different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someone just texted me who had watched it. They said that they had to go, but that they really like what we're doing and that it looks.
They
They
do.
enjoyed watching the little bit that they could. So
Yeah. Yeah. And then sometimes I do my patterns on it,
oh, nice.
which is kind of a little bit like doodling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then sometimes it evolves into full-blown paintings too. You see something and then you want to expand on it. But it's not really the object of today that we want. We
Yeah. The
just want
object.
to watch, we just want to observe ourselves and get in touch with what's inside, let it out. Because if I was like in a certain mood, eventually this will show up on the page in some way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And then that mood I can then address. Whereas if it's just inside me, I don't even know I'm upset or angry or have some kind of whatever mood, then I can't address it. I can't do anything with it.
Well, and one of the things that you could also do after you're done with this particular type of painting, because as you notice, uh, you're actually doing it on a spiral bound notebook, and so after it dries, you can flip the page over and just journal a little bit about
Mm-hmm.
what you were feeling, this particular what the mood was this particular day, what meditation you did, um, those kinds of things, anything that like really comes to mind, and what you started off. And you can even do like a at the very beginning, maybe like gauge it like on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not so good at all, kind of depressed and down, and 10
Mm-hmm.
being like joyful. I'm I want to jump through the ceiling kind of thing. And just kind of gauge where you are at the very beginning, and then also gauge at the end, like what does that look like afterward? Am I more joyful? Am I more in my skin? Am I more embodied? Am I more like what are the thoughts going on now that I've
Exactly.
completed this? Yeah.
That could be helpful
Mhm.
or not. Also, sometimes I find if I do this on a regular basis, and I have done a couple here in mine, well, it's my habit.
Yeah.
I found over time that there is a theme that comes out. You can see some patterns, some themes, some different things that either you can use to reflect on for
Right.
yourself,
Right.
or if you're an artist, you can use that as a preliminary drawing or inspiration, or you can just, be inspired by it. And
Right.
sometimes you hang it on your wall if it's
Yeah, you could.
inspired to that.
Absolutely. Or you could even I know an artist here in St. Pete who has and she created a lot of paintings but was never really satisfied with them.
Hmm.
And so she took this class by another local artist and was inspired to start to cut up the old paintings and
Hmm.
just repurpose them in new paintings, and came and
Yeah,
was so much happier. So
I've
in
done
like
that.
pieces
Yeah.
like this, um you can if you don't like it, you can
Yeah.
rip it up, you can, or you
And
can, yeah,
like parts of it.
do like a little viewfinder and
Yeah.
create that, yeah, and magnify that to a larger piece. Absolutely, there's so much that you can
Or you
do.
just, if you absolutely totally disgusted with it, it's just not a problem. You just put it in the bottom of your drawer. And after a year, you look at it and go, wow.
Yeah.
Or who knows? I mean, this is really actually just for the purpose right now, just for the purpose of you getting in touch with yourself.
Right.
And all this talking that we're doing may not happen when you do it, but on your own. But just as an inspiration, or sharing it as an aspiration.
Yeah.
I think the next class we'll do on Zoom, also for your event, on Zoom, where we can see what everybody is up to and share what everybody's up to. This is kind of hard to do here on YouTube.
Right, because we're not quite sure what people are thinking, or we can't really see any questions. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat. Any questions for Claudia or for myself? So, I'm just in a trance watching you, Claudia.
I sometimes put on some music.
Mm-hmm.
That helps with the process. If you have some particular music that you like or something calming.
Yeah, when I'm doing stuff like this, it's typically music with no words. Not always, but sometimes, just like some lo-fi or some classical or instrumental of some sort. Someone just asked if this was a Van Gogh. No, it's I don't know quite what that means. It's clearly
Van Gogh. Is it Van Gogh?
Yeah, Van Gogh.
No. I don't think he painted intuitively much, although he did very expressively. His paintings were very expressively.
Yeah.
And because he was very emotional, he kind of put that in there, right? That's how you see in paintings. You can see the painter's soul.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so hard for us to show it, like,
And it's
don't
funny,
know.
the Van Goghs that I've seen, you could feel like um how emotional he was just by like the brush strokes and the depth of the paint. It it always seemed to be, each one that I've seen are always just so like full of expression. And of course the
Yeah,
criticism, so
yeah, really. I just found an eye. I always see eyes in my paintings.
mm-hmm.
Don't know. Lots of eyes. Yeah.
What's kind of going through your mind right now as you're creating that?
What? What was the question?
I said, what's is there anything going through your mind as you're creating that, or are they?
Well, now that it's getting crowded here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm more intent on refining it. Like
Okay.
making shadows and bringing things out that I found interesting, little
Yeah.
corners and things. And so if I keep going, then more and more it becomes more, gets more depth.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't has to, but that's what happens when I keep going.
Yeah. No, it's creating more
And
contrast,
there's
is what I'm seeing.
and there's different stages. On some days I finish off in 5 minutes and that's it.
Right.
And in other days I can do a bit longer, or come back to it. Sometimes I come even back to it and finish a painting from a week ago. One of these, and find something else in it. That doesn't matter anymore. Once it's happened, it's kind of like a happening, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like a momentary event.
Yeah, it's
And
like
then the result
where you
doesn't
are
really
right
matter.
then.
Yeah, where you are then. And the result doesn't really matter then. You can
Hmm.
enjoy it, you cannot enjoy it. And
Absolutely.
at a certain point, you decide, it's finished.
Is it
Or you
finished?
think, or you think you can still keep going in some corners here,
Hmm.
or not.
And how do you know when it's finished? If you're someone who is doing this for the very first time and they're doing it with us right now, and it's
Yeah,
not something that they typically do,
yeah.
how would you know that it's finished?
I don't. Sometimes I don't.
Hmm.
Sometimes I just put it to the side for now.
Hmm.
And then after a week or two, like I'm talking about actual paintings, like really bigger ones
Yeah.
that I want to eventually put on the wall, maybe. And even with this, I sometimes not sure. I sometimes paint something down the line here, and then I go back to it and find it interesting again, or yeah, I I don't always know. And sometimes I know a week later. Sometimes I don't know right away.
And sometimes it's almost like you're complete for right now.
Yeah, sometimes you're
Yeah.
complete for right now,
Hmm.
and then that's it.
Yeah.
I think for this purpose, you could also set yourself a timer and just decide not to put your hand down and stop. Like that would be a really good thing to not think too much. Like don't ever like I'm talking, but actually I should be moving my brush, whatever I have, and
Hmm.
just keep going. I think that's not think too much about it.
Another thing you could do is you could take like a piece of paper. I have a little note piece of paper here, and maybe like this big, right?
Yeah,
So it's maybe, I don't know, 3 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches, and
yeah.
then you take your pen. Here, let me show you. And then if you take your pen and you put it, or your pencil, and you put it like this, right? And then you draw, and you don't. So then you don't see actually what you're drawing. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I do that when I'm teaching the high schoolers, the middle schoolers, and the high schoolers.
Oh,
So,
that is tricky. Yeah.
hmm,
I've
well,
never done that. That's a good idea. I have done where you completely cover it up and you paint underneath, like there's some kind of contour drawing. I've never
yeah,
done
yeah,
that, but I learned it one time, and it's also like this too. You kind of, but then you have something that you draw from.
right.
Yeah, but you can, in the beginning especially, you get kind of nervous about the paper itself.
Hmm.
So you could just like close your eyes and mill around here and make a mark on it, because then once it has a mark on it, it's not so um, intimidating anymore.
Right, right. Yeah, it. I think there's a lot of, sometimes people put too much emphasis on what goes on, as opposed to especially like with intuitive art, the act of actually just doing it and just kind of feeling into it, as opposed to making certain that these lines are there and those lines are here, and everything.
Hmm.
So it's really leaning into the what ifs, the being in a state of wonder.
Yeah, just
Hmm.
watching it and get over the idea that it is wrong. I sometimes make it my purpose to paint a painting that's bad,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
they're usually the best, because you totally leave that expectation aside and really just focus on the joy of painting and then leaving a mark like children do.
So remember, oh geez, it was what, like 2017, 2018, when you and I and two others were doing that monthly painting class, and we decided that one month to incorporate tea grounds and coffee grounds into our paintings.
Oh yeah.
And it was, and I took this giant canvas that I had painted on, and absolutely hated the painting that I had initially done on it, and and I had at that the first painting actually was done with a palette knife, and so my acrylics were like really full bodied and just really thick, and then I decided, well, you know what, I've got this painting class or yeah, painting like almost like a challenge with Claudia and the other people, um, and I added coffee grounds into my painting, and I went from initially it was like blues and greens to like pinks and mauves, and it was so fun. So just like exploring, I knew this guy, um, uh, what was his name? W. James Dumble. He was out of like Albuquerque, and I met him one time, and he told me, he was like, if a painting doesn't sell within 6 months, he's like, I'll paint over it. He goes, I'm not in the what did he say? I'm not in the business of housing canvases. And it
Yeah, because it takes a space, a lot of
well,
space.
it takes space, but also it's like, what it it leaves a sense of impermanence. I mean, life is
Yeah,
really impermanent anyway, and so it allows you to make mistakes and be imperfect and just
right.
really
I
play.
met a painter in I met a painter in Australia who was actually purposefully destroying his paintings after he painted them.
Hmm.
I didn't know if I saw the point in that, but you can do that too. Yeah, all
Yeah,
possible.
that was actually one of Picasso's quotes. The act of creation is destroying it first, or something like that. I forget what the
Yeah,
quote.
you have to destroy the
Hmm.
white paper.
Hmm.
You destroy the white page.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, I've done
It
that a couple of
is.
times.
Yeah, what do you think? Which way around?
I don't know. It's beautiful. It reminds me of Paul Klee. It's just
I
very
love
abstract. Yeah.
ugly.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love this stuff. Yeah, so
What way do you think it goes? Mhm.
it's also interesting to see it in the monitor. Like I'm seeing it on YouTube, and if I look at it here on my own, I can see it differently than if I look at it on the screen.
Mhm.
You can see it more condensed. Sometimes it's nice to take photos of paintings like this or
Yeah.
anything, and then you get a different kind of view from it and see it in a different way. I kind of like it like this. There's some stuff happening up there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's figures in it.
That
It's
way it
kind of
has some
right.
heaviness, and then this way.
And that way, what is it?
Actually, the camera shows it different than I look at it because it comes from the other side. So you're seeing it from the side now, and have to figure out how to
Oh,
put it so to adjust to the camera from where it comes. I think it's from that side, and then there is a leg.
right. Yeah, I have my lag too.
Yeah, I
But I
think I
think
like it this way.
I love the the contrasting colors. I love the depth of it. Did you
Yeah,
feel as you went back in and added the additional shadows, did you feel, um did you feel anything different? Did you feel like you were kind of maybe releasing those emotions a little bit more?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I don't think I remember them anymore anyway.
Good.
But I now can see shapes emerging. Like there's a heart shape here.
Yep.
So there's certain things that I find then fascinating, and then if I would develop this into a painting, into an intuitive, I could keep going with it. And
Right.
then if I go completely crazy, I can also take up paper and and do collage work and stick it over it, or paint white over certain areas that I don't like anymore. So from here you can go either into a real painting,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just, close the lid on your sketchbook and make another one tomorrow.
Yeah,
I thought we'll just, yeah, leave that as an inspiration.
I think so. Yeah, I think when we finish the video, maybe we can take a picture of that and have that as the
Yeah.
main image.
And it's not so much about this, but also about how everybody else does it and how they felt doing it. It would be
Right.
nice to hear some comments if anybody actually did it while we did it. It
Hmm.
would be nice to hear some comments.
Yeah,
Um,
there's been several people who have been here the entire time. So
yeah.
I too would like to
And
see the comments or and
yeah,
even wondered, did they use watercolor? Did they use colored pencil? What materials did they use and how did it feel? How was the meditation as well? What did that look like?
I like playing with water solutable
Mhm.
paintings and water, like some are actually like the oil pastels. Some of these are actually waxes, so they don't take the water, and some do.
Mhm.
So then if I go over it with brushes, they become more intense. This
Right.
red, for example, become more intense. And then others I use underneath. But this is way too technical, I'd say. You can keep it much more simple and just play around.
Right.
And sometimes it's a surprise effect. You just grab one that takes your fancy and, oh, surprise, it runs. And then you play with it, because that would happen in life too. In life also there's suddenly surprises and you don't know what's happening. And you still get a full finished painting in the end. I mean, there's a lot of analogy to life in here, like the way we approach life too. And, and
Absolutely.
how we have more awareness in life, then we can, enjoy it more.
Yeah, and how we when we're more in the moment, instead of, worried about the future or having anxiety over the past, it allows us to enjoy life and allows the people in our lives to, for us to enjoy them more and for them to enjoy us more. And
Right, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. Well, I appreciate you creating that for us and giving us the meditation, um, and just like really walking us through this whole process. It's really been a blessing to watch and just so lovely
Yeah, thank
to see the
you.
finished product.
And I think this will stay on YouTube as far as
Hmm.
I remember, right?
Yep.
Is that gonna stay? So we can come back and answer some more questions here if they come up for later, if somebody watches it later.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It will definitely stay, and we can actually even share it. Share the link with different people that we know, and so
Mhm.
they can experience it as well. So.
And don't forget to sign up on our websites if you want to
Mhm.
hear more from us. Like, we both have newsletters and we're cross polluting each other with events. And just sign up to the newsletter. There will
Yeah.
be another event coming up on November the 2nd, which is a Saturday. And at 10 o'clock, I'm planning another art class.
And that's 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and
Pacific.
so, mhm. And so, Claudia, how can people find you?
Under my name, claudiadose.com.
And so CLAUDIADOSE dot
Yeah,
com.
you can see it in the chat. I've commented in the chat. I also have a YouTube channel, and that
Mhm.
leads to the website also. So
Okay.
you can find me through that.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And yeah, and you send out your newsletters. You actually just had, an art show last weekend.
Yeah, yeah,
You
I
wanna
did.
talk a little bit about that?
Um, yeah, it was nice. Very nice showing my art. It was nice hearing people what they say about it. It was nice learning more about how to present my art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always nice.
That's
Takes a
awesome.
lot of work too, but it's nice.
Yeah, and all of her paintings could be found on claudiadose.com. So
Mhm.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you,
thank
Michelle,
you.
for inviting me.
You are very welcome. I'm so glad that you joined us and enlightened us with your expertise. And so,
Oops, maybe I should show my face again.
yeah.
Oops, got a little messed up.
So good. So I feel a lot more relaxed, a lot more calm and centered after watching you and being part of this. So thank you for that.
All right. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
All right. You're welcome. Then I will see everybody. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for watching and being part of this. And then stay tuned because we'll send out more. All right. Thank you.
Bye bye.